Hey, I feel like we have not properly talked in a while. Not a group thing, just us. When are you free? 500 characters, 9 to 10 minutes at natural speaking pace. You still have friends. You still get invited sometimes. You still have people around you. But something feels off. Conversations feel shorter than they used to. You find out about plans after they happen. People who used to text you first stopped. And when you walk into a room you used to feel comfortable in, something is different. You just cannot name it. You are not paranoid. You are not imagining it. Someone in your life is quietly cutting your connections, one thread at a time, so slowly you cannot point to the moment it started. So carefully that if you tried to explain it to someone they would tell you that you are overthinking. That is not an accident. That is the method. This video is going to show you exactly how it works, who does it, why your brain cannot detect it until it is almost complete, and the exact 3 moves to stop it before you end up completely isolated without understanding how you got there. Layer 1. The neuroscience of social blindness. Here is why you have not seen it yet. Your brain has a system called the default mode network. It is the part of your brain that runs social predictions, constantly building models of the people around you based on past experience. When someone has been safe before, your brain files them as safe and stops actively monitoring them. This is efficient. It saves energy, but it is also your biggest vulnerability. Dr. Robert Sapolsky's research on social behavior shows that humans are wired to detect sudden threats. Someone who attacks you openly, someone who insults you directly, someone who breaks trust in one obvious moment. Your brain is extraordinarily good at detecting those. But gradual social erosion, the slow removal of connection happening across weeks and months through tiny individual actions, none of which feel like an attack, your brain registers none of it in real time. Each individual action is too small to trigger the threat response. It is only when the isolation is nearly complete that your nervous system finally sounds the alarm. By then the damage is mostly done. This is not a character flaw. This is the predictable blind spot of a brain that was designed for a world where threats were loud and visible. The modern social threat is quiet and patient, and your brain has no default defense against it. Layer 2. How it actually happens. Now let us talk about the mechanics. Because this is not random. It follows a specific pattern every single time. There are 4 stages, and once you know them, you will start recognizing where you are in the sequence. Stage 1 is information gathering. Before anything visible happens, the person who intends to isolate you spends time learning your relationships. Who do you trust most? Who do you tell your problems to? Who would notice if something was wrong? They are not doing this consciously in every case, but they are doing it. They are mapping your social network before they start cutting it. Stage 2 is reputation softening. This is the stage most people never identify because it is entirely invisible to the target. Small comments dropped in conversations you are not part of. Nothing overtly negative, just subtle reframes of who you are. Planting a version of you in other people's minds that is slightly less trustworthy, slightly more dramatic, slightly more difficult than you actually are. By the time this stage is complete, the people around you have a slightly different model of you, and they do not know why. Stage 3 is opportunity removal. Invitations start going to others first. Group conversations happen in spaces you are not in. Decisions get made before you arrive. Nothing is announced. Nothing is said to your face. You just slowly stop being the first person anyone thinks of. Stage 4 is the confirmation. By this point, you are already partially isolated. And now the person begins making your reactions to the isolation, your confusion, your quietness, your occasional frustration, into evidence of the story they have been building. You seem distant. You seem difficult. You seem like you pulled away. The isolation becomes your fault in every observer's mind. And you never got to make your case. Al-Ghazali wrote in the Ihya that the most dangerous enemy is not the one who attacks you, but the one who reshapes how others see you before you even know there is a battle. He called it the corruption of reputation through whisper, and he identified it as one of the most destructive forces in human community precisely because the victim has no moment of attack to respond to. Layer 3. Why you keep doubting yourself. Here is the part nobody talks about. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself." What he meant is that the most dangerous battlefield is the one inside your own mind. The person isolating you does not need to convince anyone else you are the problem. They only need to make you convince yourself. And the method does exactly that. Every stage is designed not just to remove your connections, but to make you the author of your own removal, to make your self-doubt do the work for them. Seneca wrote to Lucilius, recede in te ipsi, withdraw into yourself, not as an instruction to isolate, but as an instruction to stop outsourcing your sense of reality to the people around you. When your instincts are telling you something is wrong, and every external voice is telling you that you are imagining it, Seneca is telling you to trust the internal signal. Your instincts noticed. You just trained yourself not to listen to them. Move 1. The thread audit. Sit down tonight with a blank page. Write the names of the 5 people you were closest to 6 months ago. Next to each name, write one word: closer, same, or distant. Do not overthink it. Just write what your gut says. If 2 or more names have the word distant next to them, the pattern is already in motion. This is not confirmation that you are being isolated. It is a signal to pay closer attention. You have just activated your default mode network manually. Your brain now has a specific instruction: monitor these relationships. It will start noticing what it was previously filing as safe. Move 2. The direct re-engagement. Pick the one person on your list who moved to distant most recently, the one where the distance feels newest. Reach out to them directly, not in a group, not through someone else. Directly. Simple. No agenda visible in the message. Say this exactly. That is it. No explanation, no accusation, no hint of what you have noticed. What you are doing is bypassing the softened reputation by creating a direct channel they cannot filter. If the isolation is in early stages, this one move reactivates the relationship before the damage is complete. If they respond coldly or avoid, that response itself is data. Now you know the thread has already been cut on their end, and you can stop waiting for a conversation that is not coming. Move 3. The source identification. Think about who has been present in every situation where a distance formed. Not who seems unfriendly to you, who has been physically or socially present in the spaces where your relationships shifted. You are not looking for proof. You are looking for a pattern. One name that appears consistently across multiple situations where something changed is not a coincidence. It is a data point. Once you identify the source, you do one thing. You stop sharing information with them. Not dramatically, not with any announcement. You simply stop giving them material. No personal updates. No relationship details. No frustrations about other people. You become pleasant and unreadable. They cannot cut threads they cannot find. Ibn Qayyim wrote, "Do not show your wound to someone who does not have the medicine." The source of your isolation feeds on your openness. Close the supply, not in anger, just strategically, quietly, with full knowledge of what you are doing and why. Homework. 1 practice. Do it tonight. Takes 10 minutes. Draw a circle on a blank page. Write your name in the center. Around the outside of the circle, write the names of the 8 people you interact with most regularly: friends, family, colleagues, classmates, anyone. Now draw a line between you and each name. Thick line means the connection feels strong and direct. Thin line means it has faded. Dotted line means something feels off, but you cannot name it. Look at the pattern. Any cluster of thin or dotted lines pointing in one direction is not random. That cluster is where the erosion started. That cluster is where you begin move 2. This is what Dr. Andrew Huberman calls a social map exercise, a deliberate externalization of your internal social model that allows your prefrontal cortex to analyze relationships your amygdala has been quietly flagging as concerning, but your conscious mind has been dismissing. 10 minutes. 1 page. Tonight. That is the practice. They did not come at you directly. They never do. They move through the spaces between you and the people you trusted. Quietly, patiently, methodically. Your unawareness. Subscribe, because next week we give you the next weapon.